Okay, good morning, everybody. Daf Yomi sponsor for this week, Shmuli and Miriam Fuchs, Liloi Nishma Shmuli's father, Yitzchak David ben Moshe Eliezer, Zichron Lavracha, whose yard site is on Tanis Esther, and he should have an Aliyas and a Shama. On Tanis Esther. Okay. Apparently we're on Ein Ches, that's 78a.
Correct.
Aleph. So we'll take it from where it says like this. Amar Rava above. Hahoyrig is a treifa. Okay? We'll take it from there. Okay. We need it from there. Amar Rava. Zokt Rava. Rava says, Hahoyrig is a treifa potter. If one kills a treifa means a person who is mortally ill. He's mortally ill in such a way that he's going to die within the year. Okay? So he's potter. He's exempt from the death penalty because he killed a dead person, so to speak. However, a treifa shaharag bifnei beistin. But what if you have a treifa? I guess he's upset. He's a little depressed because he's going to be dying within the year. So he decides to go on a killing spree. So he's treifa shaharag es bifnei beistin. If he does it bifnei beistin, right in front of beistin, he really adds a little bit of a kicker. You know what I'm saying? He does a bifnei beistin. So let's see what happens to him. Let's just see. Right. So then he's chayiv. He's going to get killed, even though he's a treifa. We're going to see that it comes from a different angle. Not mitzad that he's chayiv misa. If he was chayiv misa, but he's already dead, so to speak, right? It's like breaking a broken vessel. It's killing a dead person. But here he's going to be killed for a different reason. Shaloi bifnei beis, and he's potter. But if not bifnei beis, that means that if it was seen by witnesses, okay? Not in the present, then he would be potter. Okay, so the Gemara is going to explain. Bifnei beistin, my time a chayiv. Why is he chayiv to be killed? Because the Torah says you have to. Here, let's use a good word. You have to extirpate evil from your midst. You got to get rid of it. So it's not the pshat that he's chayiv misa, because he can't be chayiv misa. The pshat is that you just saw something evil. You got to get rid of it. Pashit, you got to get rid of it. Here's an evil guy. The Beistin saw it. They got to kill him. Okay? But shaloi bifnei Beistin potter. Okay, but now this is interesting. If Adam saw it, it's a shaloi bifnei Beistin. It's not in the presence of Beistin. He's potter from being killed. Why? Have you guys talked about this yet? This business of Eidushi ata yochel azima?
A little bit.
Okay, so this is Eidus. This is testimony that it is impossible to refute. Okay? And kol Eidushi ata yochel azima lo yishmei Eidus. Any type of witness testimony that is impossible to refute is not classified as Eidus. So in other words, it is invalid Eidus. Now, what does that mean? It's one of the conditions of Eidus. It's interesting, because it's also one of the conditions, you'd say, of a good logical argument also, that it could be refutable. If you can't refute an argument, if it's an irrefutable argument, okay, then it's also not a good argument. For example, if a person would say, all birds are black, okay, all crows are black, and in flew in a white crow, okay, all right, so that would refute his argument. But what if he would say, "Oh, look at that! Oh, look at that! He must have been painted white." Okay, in other words, anything you say to him, he'll never accept that there could be a refutation. So then that's not a really good argument. It has to be able to be refuted. Okay, but over here, the same thing over here. So in other words,
I thought it was because it was for surely he killed him. There's no doubt anybody could. The Adam say this is what had happened. It's irrefutable that this is how it happened.
No, what do you mean? How? And nothing Adam says is irrefutable.
But that's what you said.
No. It's irrefutable means you can't refute it. Not irrefutable in the sense that it's perfectly. That it's a 100%
logical.
No, it's irrefutable, can't be refuted. Let's explain what that means. So what are they saying? They're now giving testimony on somebody who is a treifa. Well, let's just say, you know about Adam Zomamim in Makos?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's say Adam Zomamim come in and say, what are you talking about? You were with us on that day in a different place. you couldn't have made that edus. So it has to be that you can basically then be mekayim the punishment of kasher zomam lasos, that vasisam loy kasher zomam lasos. You have to be able to be mekayim, to fulfill the punishment of doing to him as they wanted to do to others. But what did they want to do to others? In this case, they're testifying on a treifa. What did they want to do to others? Nothing, because they couldn't have killed him, because he was already dead. They would not have imposed the penalty of Misa. So therefore, and this is a different knech here in Iyata Yachol Azima, means you can't apply the punishment of Kasher Zomam to the Edom in this case. Can't apply the punishment of Zomam.
So this is like a guy who's ain't no dummy. This is like a person.
Yeah, this guy has no blood, exactly. So therefore, this is classified as an Edushi Ata Yachol Azima, because since you can't apply to them the punishment that they try to do to the others, because they wouldn't have never, that punishment never would have been applied. Because even if they said, oh, he's Chayiv Misa, it would not have transpired into any actual practical execution. So therefore they can't be refuted. They cannot be refuted, and therefore he's potter. Okay. V'Amar Rava. Now Rava says similarly, haroiveas atreifa chayiv. If one has I don't know what's the proper lashon over here. One has let's say unnatural relations with a treifa. With a treifa means a man. This is homosexual. Okay, this is man to man. So with a treifa, with a man who is a treifa, he's about to die anyways within the year. So he's chayiv. I was going to say a bad joke, but it's on camera. It's on camera. I was going to say, I know which disease he has, but okay, I'm not going to say it. All right. Okay. All right. It's similar to that organization in America that was just put down, U.S., and I'm not going to say the rest, okay? So anyway, so he's chayiv. Why is he chayiv? Because he's the roiveya. The roiveya is healthy. There's nothing wrong with him. Okay, so he did the wrong thing over here. He's the one who had the unusual, what did you say? The unnatural relation. So he's going to be chai. But a treifa sharava. But what if it's the other way around? The treifa, the rava. Okay, so he's the one who has the unnatural relation. So bifnei beis din he's chayiv. Again, if he did it right in front of the beis din, they see him right there. So then he's chayiv. But shaloi bifnei beis din he's potter. Bifnei beis din he's chayiv in front of the beis din he's chayiv d'chsiv ubiyarta aram mikirbecha. Exactly like we saw before. If he did it right in before beis din, he did this immoral act right in front of the beis din, they're going to schlep him out to and kill him. Why? Because bi'arta aram mikirbecha, the Torah says you have to remove, you have to burn out, extirpate the evil from your midst. But shaloi bifnei beis din, meaning to say if only witnesses saw him, so again he's potter. Why is he potter? It's the same thing over here. Why? Because you can't, again, apply any penalty of death to him because he's already dead, so to speak. It's already dead, so to speak, because it's within the year. So therefore, the edus that's given to him is edus that would never result in a kasher zomam punishment, and so therefore it is invalid. Frank the Gemara Kasha, tu lamali, what do you need the second case for? You have the first case, hainu hach, it's the same. Okay, in other words, you had before the treifa shaharag, and then you had the treifa sharava. What's the difference between the two? So Gemara says, a roiveh is a treifit strichale. Now you needed the second case. You needed the case where you had unnatural relations. That one was needed. Mao de tema, what would you have thought? Lahavikaman de mishamish meis uli poter. A roiveh is a treifa. It would be similar. Oh, it's where the roiveh, the healthy person, the healthy male, had unnatural relations with a treifa. It says that he's actually chayev. The Gemara says you might have thought that it was as if he basically had unnatural relations with a person who's dead, and he would be potter. So Gemara says no. So therefore that's the chiddush. Kamash malan, it's coming to teach us that no, he is chayev mishum hanahu v'yislei hana. The reason why he's chayiv is because it's true. It's ki'ilu. In a legal sense, it's mishamish b'meis. It's like he's having relations with a mace. But from a human point of view, the guy's still alive. He's still alive, and there's still hana involved in this act. Now, what would be, by the way, says Rashi as a side point, what would be if a person actually did have relations? That's really unnatural and perhaps something that shouldn't be discussed at 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't care what they say, but it's 7 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. What if somebody was mishamish a mace? Would he be chayiv misa for that? The answer is no, because there's no hana in that, says Rashi. There's no hana in that because, although there are some real weirdos out there, but generally speaking, there isn't, because Rashi says it's not a human experience, and therefore there would be no chiyuv on that. There's no technically hana, which is interesting. Okay, so you see that hana, even though it kind of overrides this idea that even though technically the person was mace, but since there is hana, the isser of bia is the isser is getting the hana from it. So since he received the hana, he'd be chayiv. So that's the answer. Had we only had the hoyreg case, you'd only know hoyreg. But what about? But you would have said that a roivei is pater. So that's why it has mishum hana. Okay. Ve'amar Rava. So Rava says another word. Eidim she'idu b'treifa v'huzmu. Let's say you have eidim that testified against a treifa. So the guy, again, is going to be dead within the year. V'huzmu. And then they are found to be eidim zoymimim. Ein neheragim. They are not killed. Why not? Well, obviously what was the edus was that he was chayiv misa or did some kind of a capital crime. He's not killed because, as we said before, it's edus shiyata. You can't apply the death penalty to the accused. Okay, and so therefore, when it boomerangs back on them, as per the law of hazama, okay, they would get nothing. So there's no law of hazama on them, so they're pater.
You're going to get
nothing. No, oh, that's interesting. You'd say because since you can't be mekayim it, let them get makos.
Right, like we do in
yeah. That's interesting. I didn't think of that. It's a good question.
Like if you.
It's a good question. Good question. I don't know. Yeah, good question. Let's think about that for a second. Aha, it's a good question, Brian. That's a good question. I can think of an answer, which is that in this case, it's not that there's, in other words, what's the classic case where it comes back as makos? You testify against a kohen that he's a halal and you're Yisrael.
Right.
You're Yisrael. So you get makos instead.
Because he can't be made a halal, so therefore you get makos.
There's something in my head that's conjuring up. It's too early in the morning to for you, and this is a Daf Yomi, so let's go on. Eidei Treifa, okay. But in any case, there is a chiluk. Okay, Eidei Treifa, it says like this, Eidei Treifa, Shehuzmu Nerogim. But on the other hand, Eidei Treifa Shehuzmu Nerogim. Okay, what does that mean? What's Eidei Treifa? Witnesses who are treif. In other words, they themselves are treif, okay? Not talking about they're Eidim on a treifa, they are Eidei Treifa. And they get huzmu, they get killed, even though they're treifas. Again, we talked about one exception to the law, that they are ki'ilu, they're dead, and therefore you don't put the chiyuv misa on them. We said biarta v'ram mitkirbecha, that's one exception. Here's another exception, that they get nailed for the law of hazama, even though they might not be technically Ro'ui lemisa because they're already dead, but they still get killed through the law of Hazama. That's what Rava says. Rav Ashi says afilu eidei treifa sheuzma einan neragin. Rav Ashi says no. Even if they are eidim who are treifas, and they were huzmu, again, what happened to them? They were treifas. They testified. Let's say. Against Reuven, that Reuven killed, and then these two witnesses, Shimon and Levi, let's call them, are treifas, and they're found to be Eidim Zoymimim. So we're not going to apply to them He says they're ein neheragin. That's Rav Ashi's. Why is that? Lefisha einan bezoymim zoymim. Because they're not. They can't. You can't apply hazama to zoymim. What's zoymim? Let's take it one step further. Let's take it one step further. Okay, so let's say. So you have Reuven, who's the accused, that he killed somebody. You have Shimon and Levi, who are the Edim Zoymimim, and they're treifas. Okay? Sorry, let's say they testify. Then, okay, what happens to Shimon and Levi? Hello? They're found to be Edim Zoymimim. By whom? Give me two other names. Yisachar and Zvulun. Yisachar and Zvulun come in, and they're like, what are you talking about? They were with us at a different time and place. Now, Shimon and Levi are found to be Edim Zoymimim. So Rava says, was it Rava? Yeah, Rava says you can't apply the law because they're not killed. Why are they not killed? Because, right, Rava says, Edim Shehidu Betreifa V'huzmu Ein Neragin. They're not killed because, because Yisachar and Zvulun, okay, hold on a second. I'm getting confused over here. Let's get it right.
The second pair of witnesses. Yisachar and Zvulun are the second pair of witnesses.
Shimon and Levi are the Edim that are treifas. Right. And if they're found to be zoymimim, they are not killed.
Misa, right.
They're not killed. Why are they not killed? Let's see Rashi on that.
Accumulated Rabbi, I mean, at that
No.
They're already dead. They're already. It's not. I don't know if.
I see. Right. So they're not. They're not killed.
You can't assign another penalty on them since they've already been assigned. They're dead.
They are dead. Right. Exactly. Okay. Good. So now the Gemara says Rav Ashi disagrees and says, one second. No. It says they are killed. No. That's Rav. Rava says they are killed. They are killed. Okay, why are they killed? Okay, why are they killed? Because that's the whole point. That's what I said before.
It seems like they're not. It's not that they're chayiv misa.
It's not that they're chayiv misa.
They're chayiv the punishment.
But they're chayiv the punishment. They tried to do X to Reuven, so it goes back on them. That's what Rava says. It has nothing to do with chayiv misa. It's not midin chayiv misa. It's midin hazama. Fine. But Rav Ashi says no, they are not killed. Because let's take it one step further beyond Yisachar and Zvulun. Now let's say what happens. Give me two more names, not Yisachar and Zvulun. Asher and
Yaakov.
Asher and Yaakov. Let's say Asher and Yaakov come, and they're Mezim. Okay, so another Yisachar, Zvulun were like, aha, Shimon and Levi, you were with us. But then just to make the drama even more. So Yaakov and Asher are like, what are you talking about, Yisachar Zvulun? You were with us! All right. So now it turns out that Yisachar and Zvulun are Edim Zoymimin. So what should be applied to them is what they were trying to do to Shimon and Levi. Right. But Shimon and Levi can't be killed because they're treifas. Memela, you can't apply zoymim. You can't apply the misa to Yaakov and Asher. Again,
you would have killed Shimon and Levi had it.
Yes, because Shimon and Levi. No, you would. Well, no, that's according to Rava. Right. Rav Ashi says you can't.
Right.
Why not? Because you can't apply the full suite, let's say, of the law of Hazama. Because down the line, if they become the victim in this, right? Because they become the victim in this. How do they become the victim? Because the people that were trying to conspire against them are uncovered, namely Yisachar and Zvulun are uncovered, trying to put Shimon and Levi to death. That makes Shimon and Levi the victim. Okay, so then, and that would be by Asher and Yaakov. So Asher and Yaakov can't be killed because what are they doing? The punishment that they were trying to apply in Shimon and Levi can't be applied to them because Shimon and Levi, right, never would, because, right.
What?
Because
Because
he's a treifa. Exactly. Okay. You get it? Okay. So that means since it can't be, it can't be extended to the case of zoymim. Zoymim, says Rav Ashi, they are potter. They are potter from being killed. Ein ragin. Okay, that was a little bit complicated. Okay, v'amar Rav v'ayter. Shor treifa sheharag chayav. What if you have a shore that's a treifa? So let's go now to animals. An animal that's a treifa, you certainly don't want to eat it because it's a treifa. But what happens if it kills? So then it's chayiv, has to be killed. You know that you have to kill a dangerous animal, right? You have to kill a dangerous animal, right? If a shor shel adam treifa sheharag is potter. But however, the animal of a man who's owned by a treifa man, he's a good animal, he's a healthy animal, he's a healthy shor, but his master is treifa, okay, so he's potter, then he's going to be potter from being killed. Why? My time, what's the reason? So Amar Kra Shor Yisakel V'gam Be'alav Yumas, the Torah says like this by a shor muad. Okay, everybody know what a muad is? Muad, what?
A goring shore.
It's a goring shore. He's a muad. Okay, all right. Wish I had your son here. He'd laugh. He would love that, right? Muad. Okay. Hashor yisakel v'gam ba'alav yumas. The shore shall be killed, be stoned to death, and so too the owners will be killed. Now, the truth of the matter is, it does not mean the owners are killed. What does it mean? If anybody remembers Bava Kama. Financial penalty. It means that they will be, what?
Karen? It's not Karen, it's...
No, he gets paid the Nezek Shalom. Nezek Shalom. Or in the case of, Misa, it would be Koifer. He'd have to pay Koifer. It means he's cleaned out. Yumas means, I've been cleaned out. Like I'm finished, okay? Like that's what it means. I think it actually means Koifer. It's Ki'ilu, he was Yumas. There's different machloikas about Koifer, but basically they have to pay the Koifer payment. So the Gemara says like this, but there's a hekesh, there's a connection between the shore and the Baal. And we read it like this, Koleicha de Krinan Bey, Vigam Baal of Yumas, Krinan Bey Ashor Yisakel. Both have to be true in order for the shore to be killed. You have to be able to apply wherever, it has to be that Baalav could potentially be Yumas, it has to be that the owner has to be able to be been killed, in order for the shore to also be killed. We see this concept in other places where it's kemisas abailin kach misas ashor, right? In other words, we say that the law against the shore is very similar. It's equivalent to how we kill actually the Baal, the human being. Okay, it follows. It's kind of strange, right? You would arraign, you serve him paper, sure. I'm sorry, we're going to have to serve you papers. You have to show up to court in front of a court of 23. Yeah, it's like that, right? And he's like, let me get I think I got to speak to my lawyer now, Sure, he has to bring his lawyer to who's his lawyer? It's like the goat. He may look harmless, but he's the goat, Anyways, okay. So what do you see from here? Since in this case that the owner owns the shore, the owner's a treifa, you can't say gambal of yumas. It couldn't be that in such a case, in a similar case, where it wasn't the animal that killed, but the owner that killed, the owner would not have been killed because he's a treifa, so the animal can't be killed either because you can't be mekayim v'gambal of yumas. Okay. Rav Ashi Amar afilu shor treifa nami.
I don't even understand what the question is, to be honest. We said the shore is healthy. He didn't do anything. Why would we? It's like
because he killed somebody.
No, we said the shore didn't kill anyone.
No,
he said the man was a
he's healthy.
Right.
That doesn't mean, but then he's a healthy shore that killed somebody.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Then we say like this. So we go like this. Okay? Yeah. Rav Ashi Amar afilu shorsh treifa nami she'arag potter. Rav Ashi disagrees. He says even a shore treifa, not just a shore of an adam treifa, but even if the shore itself is a treifa and he kills, he's potter. My time it came to ilu bailim avu Tiri Shornami Potter. He extends the Hekesh even more. He says, let's take a look at this Treifa shor. If you wanted to kill him, because the Baal is healthy, so you could say Baal of Yumas, right? So kill the shor. He says, but you can learn it up the other way too. Let's say you could extend it one step further. This shor who's a treifa killed, but what if the Baal was a treifa? So then you wouldn't have killed the Baal. So in the same situation, you wouldn't have killed the Baal, so you don't kill the shor. He takes it one step further, and he would putter as well. We would, if we would have time, we would go into the Iyun what the Machloikis is. What?
Why would an ox be put to death instead of a human?
Because the ox killed.
But wouldn't it be the owner's fault for not training the ox properly?
Yeah, but he doesn't get killed for that. Yeah, that's true. He does, but that's Allah. You have to get rid of a dangerous animal, right? Yeah. Okay. Except in Canada, where you're allowed to keep coyotes around, running around. Yeah, who cares? They're dangerous animals. They pick up babies. Big deal. Okay. You have to protect them. All right? Backwards country. Let's go weiter. Shisa boyas kelev. What happens if, back in the Mishnah it says, if you're a meshasa, means you what's the word for it? To me, meshasa is to, give me a word for it. To sick. We would say in English, to sick a dog against somebody and he kills him, or to, right?
Yeah.
So he's potter. Incite, that's a much better word. Mm-hmm. That's the fancy word. To incite a crazy dog or a snake against somebody, he's potter. But what happens if he takes the snake, okay, and he applies him against the guy, like almost like a sword, and the snake.
The man's chayav.
You're holding the snake and you take out its fangs and you stab him, right?
The Mishnah says he's chayav.
Yeah, so the Mishnah actually brings down a machloikis here. Rabbi Yehuda Mechayev and the Chachamim Poitrim. Okay? Rabbi Yehuda Mechayev Chachamim. So it says like this. So Amr Avacha Bar Yaakov Kishetim Tzaloim Ledivrei Rabbi Yehuda. When you think a little bit deeply about Rabbi Yehuda, so he says pshat's like this: Eres Nachash is Bein Shinav Hu Oimed. It comes out that the poison of a snake is not actually again, according to Rabbi Yehuda, you're chayav, right? You're chayav? Yeah. Rabbi Yehuda says you're chayav. So it must be that the poison of a snake is actually in the teeth. So when you stab him, it's kilo, you're stabbing him with a sword. There's no difference.
Oh, so you're not the one who put the poison in. You're gonna say the snake, the nachash, put the poison.
No. The poison is always there in the teeth.
Right.
So when you apply the snake, when you push the snake against somebody, it's really like you're stabbing him. It's a dangerous weapon. The snake's a dangerous weapon. Okay. So you're chayav for that. Right? But he says, because, right, Eres Dachash Bein Shinavu Oim Lefikach, Makish is Besayef, the guy who incites is Chayav, and the Nachash is Potter. The Nachash is Potter. You don't have to put the Nachash to death, which is very interesting. Why not? Because the Nachash wasn't acting on his own volition in any way. Not that he has Bechira, but it wasn't his act. He was just being used as a weapon. Correct.
Chachamim would say
the divrei Chachamim eres nachash me'atzmo humeki. However, but according to the Chachamim, if you think about it, the poison of a snake is actually a choice. The snake chooses to shoot up he has to make a decision of whatever, a snake decision, okay, to bring the poison up to his teeth, okay. Lefikach nachash is beskila. Therefore, the nachash in such a case would be killed. And hamakish is potter, and the guy who incites and places it on the guy is potter. Very good. Okay, next Mishnah. Hamak is chaveiroi bein be'evan bein be'egroif. This one gets a little bit complicated. Okay, all right.
Complicated here before. Don't worry.
What?
We've had complicated here before. Trust me.
So if a person basically smites his friend, whether he smites him with a rock or with a fist. Okay, v'amdu lamisa, and then they take him. Hatzalah comes and the guy's gonna die. They evaluate him that he's going to die. Okay, v'hekel mima shahaya, and then suddenly he takes a turn for the good. Okay, and he starts getting better, much better. And he's fine. But then later, he takes a turn for the bad. Okay? And umes. And then he dies. So what is it? Do we say that it's ki'ilu? Is he chayv misa or not? Is he chayv misa or not? So the Gemara says like this. Sorry, the Mishnah says, Rabbi Nechemia oimer. Sorry, that's the Tanakamis is chayiv. He would be chayiv. And there's the Chachamim say the guy's chayiv. The fact that he got better for a little bit, yeah, it's irrelevant. The fact is, at the end, they were omid him. They assessed him to die, and he did die in the end, so he's killed. He's going to be chayiv misa. Rabbi Nechemia oimer potter. But Rabbi Nechemia says the guy's potter. Why? Shiraglaim ledover. There is evidence to suggest that basically this is a new thing. In other words, what does it mean? It means he got better, right? He was getting better. Let's see Rashi on Raglaim Ladover. What does he say? Shaloi meis machmas makazu sharei hekel. In other words, as Raglaim Ladover, there's feet to the matter. It means there seems to be evidence. He didn't die because of the original smiting, because he got better. Fact is, he got better proves that event was over, and now there's something else happened to him that he got killed. So he'd be potter according to Rabbi Nechemia.
But wait,
what?
It's a pasuk in Chumash that says if you hit a person and he gets up on his own volition.
That's right. That's what we're going to learn right now. Does anybody have a Chumash, please? Need one Chumash, okay? You mean you can all get a Chumash? Oh, you have it inside.
I'm going to get a copy.
You probably have it inside, okay? I know I'm not going at Daf Yomi speed, but whatever. How are we doing? What time is it?
7:37.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
this
doing great.
is
We're doing
geschmack
great.
stuff.
Yeah, is it beautiful?
Yeah, how can you go through Daf? I don't know. The Daf.
Have you ever taught it before?
I mean, I've learned it before. I don't remember when. But what's the pasuk? Where's the pasuk? Help me. Where is this pasuk?
From Nechemia?
No. It's going to be im yakum v'yisalech b'chutz al mish'anto v'naka, and it gets a little complicated here. So we need to find the pasuk.
Shmos 21:19.
Oh, Givaldik. 21:19. Okay, everybody got that? Okay. Oh, Givaldik. Okay, so what does it say over here? Let's look at the pasuk before we start in the Gemara. V'chi yerivun anoshim, if two men are fighting, v'hika ish esreyehu, and one man smites the other one with an even or an egroif, with a stone or with a fist. V'lo yamus, and he doesn't die. V'nafal lemishkav, and then he has to. He's hospitalized, and what's the word when a person's getting better? There's a word for it.
Recuperation.
No, there's a better word for it. You know which word I'm talking about, Jeff.
Someone gets better.
No, when somebody's in a hospital and he's getting
Recovering.
But no, there's another word for it. He is
Rehabilitated.
No, it's not that. Anyways, okay, but yeah, that's what it is. But there's a perfect English word for it, and I can't remember what it is. Okay, all right. There's so many English words, you know. So it says. So he says. Im Yakum, so he says V'nafal Mishka. Fine. So he goes into here. Let's see. How's he translated? He falls into bed. Okay. Im Yakum. If he gets up later, V'yis'alech b'chutz, and he walks on his own 2 feet, al mishanto, on his original strength, on his strength, V'nika makeh. I'm reading in the pasuk here, and basically the guy who hit him originally, he's off the hook. He's cleaned. He's not chayiv. Rak shifta yiten v'rapa yirapeh, but he still has to do what? He still has to give the payments for striking a person, which there are 5 of them. You know what they are? Shevis, Ripui, Boshes. Shevis is unemployment wages. Ripui is medical. Boish is humiliation. Nezik is damages. And Sar, pain. Okay? Those are the 5. So you'd still have to pay that. He's not patur from that. Let's look in the Gemara. Tana Rabbanan. So the Brisa teaches that Zu Darish Rabbi Nechemia. This is how Rabbi Nechemia darshans up the pasuk. Im yakum v'yisalech b'chutz. If the guy gets up and he goes and he basically gets better, V'nika makeh. So he's clean. He's no longer chayv misa. So Fred the Bryce, an obvious question. Anybody reading this pasuk would ask this question. Would you ever have thought, what hava amina is there that this guy who was smitten is now walking around, he's fine, and this guy should get killed? Like what the Torah has to tell you, v'nika makeh. Oh, maybe you didn't realize the original, suspended chiyuv misa is off the table. Really? Well, of course, the guy's fine. Why would you kill him? So pasuk doesn't make sense. Anybody reading this pasuk, it's like, how do you explain this pasuk? So he says, Ella, no. No, we don't understand what case this is talking about. The pasuk is talking about the following case. Zeh shamdu misa. It's talking about a person that they evaluated the person who was smitten, that he was going to die. Vehekel mimashahaya, and then he got a little bit better. Uleachar ken hichbid, but then he got worse again. Umeis, and he actually died. Shehu pater. That's what they're talking about. Ooh, let's see that. Is that the pasuk? How do we fit that in the pasuk? Let's see Rashi. So it says, Elazeh shamdu mitchila lemisa. Uba kasav lilamedcha. The Torah is coming to say, Shem yakum min hamishkav v'salach b'chutz, that if the guy gets up, okay, v'amdu l'mishenes chayim, and now they've said, oh, look at that, he's good, he's healthy, v'nika makeh v'afilu meis la'achar miken shechazer v'hichbid. The original smiter is pater even if he gets worse. So what's the Torah talking about? It's catching it mid-frame. Okay? What's it saying? It's saying he hit him and he didn't die like we thought he was going to. But instead, v'nafal mishkav, and he got better. V'nafal mishkav means he got better because obviously he's in bed, he's recuperating. Okay. Im yakum, and he gets up. What does it mean? He gets up. V'salach b'chutz al mishanto. It means he
gets up and he goes out.
Doesn't actually have to go out. What does it mean? He basically comes back from being assessed to die up to the point where we now assess him that he's going to live. That's what it means. Right. At that point, v'nika makeh. At that point, the original smiter is pater. Even though later, what happens? He dies. Now, what happens if he dies?
Still pater.
But notice the end of the pasuk, he still has to pay payments, which is very interesting. Mm-hmm. Why am I paying payments? The guy died.
Yeah.
Okay? Obviously, you're going to have to pay payments, but we'll get into that. Okay? Fine. So you get it? That's how Rabbi Nechemiah learns up this pasuk.
No, you only pay payments for the original thing, no? Which is the 5 categories you talked about. Busha.
Yeah, but except that in this case, Rabbi Nechemiah learns up this pasuk. What's the case talking about? Where he was originally assessed to die.
Right.
And then he was let off the hook because the guy got better. Okay, but Rak Shifta Yated, so he has to pay. But even though Rabbi Nechemiah continues the story and says, but he did die in the end. But he did die. So what am I paying all these payments for? You're still going to pay these payments. Okay, you'll see. I'm going to pay to the relatives, I guess. Okay, in any case, let's continue here in the Gemara. So the question is, the Rabbanan. But the Rabbanan in the Mishnah say what? They say that in this case, he is, what is he?
Pater.
What?
Pater?
No, that's Rabbi Nechemiah.
Oh.
That was the Machloikis. Chayev and Rabbi Nechemiah Omer Pater. If you remember, Chayev.
So he would be Chayev.
He's Chayev. So how do they learn this pasuk? Because they also have the same question. Chitale al datcha. Would you ever have thought that this guy should walk out and this guy should be killed? Rabbi Nechemiah has an answer. He says, well, you don't know the whole story. The whole story is, and then he later died. But they hold that he's chayiv in that case. So that can't be, because it says...
Why is it saying that they hear the whole story before they say chayiv? They should have heard the whole story before they just go straight to saying he's chayiv.
No, the pasuk is telling you that he's pater. So even according to the Chachamim, the Torah is discussing a case where he's going to be pater. But in their opinion, the case that Rabbi Nechemia attributes to the Torah should be chayev. So that can't be the case. So what is the case? So they say, no, it's melamed shechoyv shinoisai. No, the whole pasuk is coming to tell you another halacha. It's coming to tell you the halacha of chavisha. Chavisha means you put a guy in prison. It's actually very, very rare when we put people in prison in the Torah, right?
Yeah.
Here's one of the cases, okay? Why do we put him in prison? We hold a person. It's really called jail. It's not prison. Difference between jail and prison. You know that. You don't know the difference between jail and prison? Jail is a holding cell. When you go to the police department, they put you in jail, means they're going to hold you.
It's like a temporary prison.
It's temporary just to hold you so you don't run away. Prison is, no.
Long-term.
Doing time, baby.
Long-term incarceration.
Doing time, okay?
Doing time.
You have a long time to do time, okay? Jail is a temporary thing. Okay, fine. Now, so chavish is really jail. So how do you see that in the pasuk? So if you look at Rashi, he says like this: V'rabbanin hai v'nika makam malam shechoyv shinoisai imam du'al misa. If they evaluated that he was going to die, choyv shinas amakeh. So then they put him in jail. Why do they do that? Because he hit the guy and they're like, the guy's going to die. But in the meantime, he's not dead. So let's keep the guy in jail to see what happens. Shelo yivrach. They don't want him to run away. Ad shenira im yamus im lav. Until we see if he dies or not. Lahachi asin v'nika makeh. Therefore, this pasuk v'nika makeh, the makeh is cleaned up, meaning he's pater, is demashma l'kesheyakum v'nika, which comes to tell you that when the guy actually arises, meaning he gets healthy, only then can they let him go, v'nika. Michlal darhasha chavushu. Until, so that's what the pasuk is saying. Let's look at the pasuk according to the Rabbanan. It means like this. The guy hits somebody with a stone or with his fist, and he didn't die. But they assessed him that he was going to die. He's not dead yet. He didn't die. V'nafal mishkav, and he's sick. And he's wavering between life and death. Im yakum v'yisalach b'chutz v'nika maka. If he finally gets up and he's good and healthy, so then v'nika maka. What does a v'nika maka mean in this case? They what?
He's free from prison.
He's free from prison. That's what it means. Very good. Now he's free from prison. You see? So it comes to teach you that. But until then, he was.
In prison.
Not prison, I told you.
Jail.
And if you say it again, I'm going to put you in prison, okay?
Go on. I see this.
Jail, it's jail. He was put in jail, okay?
Right.
Okay, so that's how the Rabbanan learn it. It has nothing to do with this case, okay, where he's going up and then he goes down and up. It's just telling you v'nika maka. Fine. All right. So Gemara says, Rabbi Nechemia chavisha minale. Okay, so very good according to the Rabbanan. You learn out chavisha from this pasuk. That means jail time. So that holding a person. Where does Rabbi Nechemia learn it from? So yalif mi mekoishesh. Ooh, the case of the mekoishesh eitzim. So it says that back in, where was this, in Shmois somewhere?
Where's Mekoshesh?
By the Mon, by Beshalach, I think, where a guy that's the guy who's picking up the Mon. This is the guy who was gathering wood on Shabbos. Guy's gathering wood on Shabbos, and although why would you be chayv misa for gathering wood?
Because there was no Eruv back then.
Oh, because of no Eruv. Is that why? Because he was carrying?
Yeah, that's exactly what
Is that what it was? Yeah? Okay, in any case, over there the Torah says that that Moshe didn't know what to do with him. So he put him in jail. He held him.
In prison.
You have the pasuk? Read me the pasuk from Rabbi Art Scroll.
I don't have it handy, but it's from
Exodus?
Vayikra.
Okay. Should be there. Should be in the notes. What does Rabbi Art say? Right. What did they do?
They placed him in custody.
Custody, yeah.
Jail.
Yeah.
Until they could
Because they
clear what to do with him.
what to do with them. Fine. So then that's a clear case of chavisha. So what is Rabbi Nechemia says? What do you want? Why should I use this pasuk up for a chavisha? I have it from the Mekoishish. Good kasha, right? So the Rabbanan, how are they going to answer that? How are the Rabbanan going to answer that? After all, he's right. You could learn it out from Mekoishish. So what do you need it from over this pasuk? So he says like this. So Rabbi Nechemia, Rabbanan amili alfei mi Mekoishish. So how come they don't learn out from Mekoishish? Mekoishish bark tolahu. Moshe lo have yada katle b'mai. So he says, no, they're totally different. Over there, Moshe Rabbeinu knew that he was chayiv misa, the Mekoishish. The only shaila was which misa to apply. Should I give him sreifa? Should I give him skila? I don't know which one. But over here, lafuke hai de lo yadina ni bark tolahu ilav. That is different than this case that I didn't even know that he is going to be a bar ktala at all. So let's just think about that for a second. According to the Rabbanan, this case is, I didn't know that he was a bar ktala if you hit somebody and he lives, etc. So therefore, I don't know yet if he's a bar ktala. No, that's sorry. According
Maybe
to
you only incarcerate somebody, whatever. Maybe you
No. I don't know if he's a bar ktala because maybe he'll live.
Right. Whereas the other one, you know he's chayav misa.
Right,
you just don't know which one.
Yeah,
it is.
that's a different. How can there's a much bigger chiddush over here? I don't know whether you're chayav misa or not, but you might be. So let's put you in jail in case you are. Well, that's a much bigger loss of freedom than a guy who's for sure chayav misa. Yes, 100%. So okay, Rabbi Nechemia, good kasha on Rabbi Nechemia. Now we're playing.
Sorry, I'm imagining like one guy goes to the other guy in jail. What did you do? I killed someone. What did you do? I carried wood.
I'm a wood carry. What was
It's funny in my head.
I would like to know what exactly you think it was carrying, but it's not so pashut because
yeah.
no. Oh, it was hoitzah. He did hoitzah. He did hoitzah. Okay, hoitzah is for sure chayv misa. Okay, yeah. I thought he was carrying outside
The trum.
the tchum, but because the tchum it's not so pashut that the tchum is midoraisa. Okay, fine. You're right. He was carrying. Okay. So, frek the Gemara kasha Rabbi Nechemia olif mi megad. No. Okay, so that was a good kasha. So that's a good kasha from the Rabbanan. So Rabbi Nechemia has to accept that kasha. We're playing. It's called the Gemara table tennis, back and forth. Okay, all right. So Rabbi Nechemia learns it up from Megadef. No, he could learn that case up from Megadef. De lo have yada ibark tolahu v'chavshuhu. Okay, so Rabbi Nechemia says, wait, is this a kasha? What is this right now? Let's see. Rabbi Nechemia yoliv megadef. It's a kasha l'chayra. Oh, this is a little strange. So Rabbi Nechemia will say, then learn that case out from Megadef. In other words, why don't you learn that case up? Which case are we talking about? Right, because according to Rabbi Nechemia, this has nothing to do with Chavisha. Remember, this has nothing to do with Chavisha. So the kasha is that the Rabbanan are saying is, but you need to learn it for Chavisha. Why do you need to learn it for Chavisha? Because you only have the case where you know that he's Chayiv Misa, but this case is where he's not, we don't know if he's Chayiv Misa. So Rabbi Nechemia retorts, and he says, that's not true. You could learn a case where we don't know if he's Chayiv Misa from another place. Go learn it from Megadef.
Right.
What's the case of Megadef? Where somebody was blessed Hashem. We say blessed Hashem.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And lo havayada ibark tolahu. And they didn't know if he was chayv misa, and yet v'chavshu. And you see in the Torah that they put him into chavisha. Does anybody have a scriptural reference for that case? Where was that case? Megadef.
Where Moshe did not know whether the offender
No,
was
he
liable?
wants the.
No, I want to know the pasuk.
Vayikra 24:10.
Can you read it? Can you read it for me there?
Vayanichuhu b'mishmar lifrosh lahem al pi Hashem.
Again, it says the same thing over there. And that's the case where they didn't know. So then how's the Rabbanan? So Rabbi Nechemia is retorting and he's saying you've got every case of Chavisha covered. If it's a case where you knew the guy was Chayiv Misa, that would be from the Mekoishish. If it's a case where you don't know he's Chayiv Misa, go to the Megadev. So the Rabbanan would say no, Megadev is Hoyrasha Haisa. The Megadev, that's a Hoyrasha. That was a one-time deal. And you can't learn from Hoyrasha. Rashi says, Iloi Kasav Chavisha Dehacha Michavisha Dehasam Lohava Gamrinan. You wouldn't have learned it from here. Doirasha Haisa Sharei Loi Nitztavu Mitchila Al Oisa Chavisha Umeatzam Asu. In other words, they were never commanded for that Chavisha over there. They did it themselves. They came in the law Nemar Boy Misa Mitchila Ma Safik Haya Lahem Lahatil Olav Safik Misa L'Choivshay. They were never told that there was a Misa, so why would they have thought to put him into jail for a Safik Misa? So another the whole thing was Hoyrasha. That's not a precedent to learn from there. Okay? Kidatanya. So now let's go. The Gemara says, like from the Bryce, it's going to now prove that there's a difference between a case where they knew that he was Chayiv Misa and they just didn't know which Misa, and they didn't know. So it says like this: Yodeya haya Moshe Rabbeinu shemikoishish b'Misa. Moshe Rabbeinu knew that the Mekoishish was Chayiv Misa, Shenemar Mechalei Mois Yumas, because it says in the Torah, if you desecrate Shabbos, you get death penalty. Ela lo haya Yodeya be'ezah Misa Nerag, but he just didn't know which Misa he should get. Shenemar Kiloi Poirash, because it wasn't explained to him, he didn't know which one. Okay, so that Bryce is coming to prove that in the case of the Mekoishish Eitzim, he was Chayiv Misa, we just didn't know. Aval Megadev loy nemar boy ela lefarish lema pi Hashem. Okay, however, by the Megadev, it only says lifroish lehem al pi Hashem to explain it by the word of Hashem. Shelo haya Moshe yadeim hu ben misa kol iker im lav. They didn't even know if he was even at all chayav misa at all. In other words, that's a whole different case. What does it mean, Hoyrasha? It means like this. That's not comparable, he's saying. That's not comparable to our case. Because our case is, we know that he'd be chayiv misa if it led to death, right? So the shaila is, we don't know if he's yet chayiv misa or not. So that's a chiddush, okay?
Right.
But the case of Megadesh is, you don't even know that the case of Giduf is a case of chiyuv misa. You get it? That's even a third suffix. It's so questionable because you don't even know whether the Torah applies a chiyuv misa to that case. So they put him in jail suspecting that perhaps this is such a serious crime that Hashem would want him to be chayiv misa. But you see, that's not the same as saying we don't know if you're going to be chayiv misa because maybe the guy will live. Because there we know that murder, it gets chayiv misa. The only shaila is, did you murder him or not? But in the case of Megadef, says the Rabbanan, that's a Hoyrasha. Because look at what they did. They didn't know. Somebody did something. He blessed Hashem. They were like, we don't know what to do with this guy.
So that might be different because they might have thought that right now this guy might already be chayiv misa.
He might be already chayiv misa. Oh, that's how you're learning it up. Right. Okay, that's a good way of saying it. Or
because otherwise it seems like it should be lighter than the case.
It is lighter than the case. It is lighter.
And I'm saying in our case, he's either, we don't know, he's maybe going to be chayiv misa.
But both are
not,
suffix.
depending on the outcome.
Right.
Why can't you just say that they're both suffix? And that's the comment. One, you don't know if he's going to be
That's what the
chayiv misa,
because
and the other one, you don't know.
Because the Rabbanan are telling you that there's
They're
three.
both suffix.
Because the Rabbanan are telling you there are three Mekoros for Chavisha. Right. So how do they explain the third Makor? The Mekoishish they learn, that's Pashat. Okay, fine. That they know, that everybody agrees, the Mekoishish, he was Chayiv Misa, we just didn't know which Misa. That's one form of suffix. Then you have the case of and then they'll say to you that this case of the Nika Makeh, okay, that's a different thing. He could possibly be Chayiv Misa, but we have to wait and see. But then there's the Megadev. What's the Megadev? The Megadev is, we don't know if he's Chayiv Misa at all. But he might already be. So, but where do they have the gumption to even suggest that he is? That's why it was Hoyrasha. meaning to say they did that only on their own instinct at that moment. That wasn't a ruling for all time that you would do chavisha. Like, it's like, a kid spills milk. Maybe I should put him into jail because I have to figure out, if he's chayiv misa for that. No, right? Like we don't have the right to go ahead and just invent chavishas of our own doing.
Unless someone slips on the milk and cracks his head open, there was something else.
Right, that'd be well. Even then, right? Because by the way, if you throw a tiny little pebble at somebody and he dies, you're not chayiv misa for that, right? It has to be a rock that's roy to kill somebody. We'll see that later. Anyways, okay. It looks like we're kind of at the end here. So let's. That's where you're holding, okay? So let's hold it there. All right, guys. Gewaldig. Geschmacka stuff, huh? Geschmacka stuff.